live, and I wasn't even trying to. I wasn't trying to. I called. I'm live. I had to. Thanks to me having to switch over in my location and timing at the last minute, I stayed most definitely in the place of having to be motivated today because all the different changes in the environment. But nevertheless, I am here. So happy motivation in spite of to everyone that's tuning in now and later. Please like and share for whoever it is that's tuned in now. And I pray that your Monday have been inspiring so far. If not, then we're going to make it that this evening. I wanted to right away. Thank you all for tuning in. Yes, I had the time. Yeah, that's how I love in person. I do. Yes, I so miss. I so miss the in person thing. Okay, but nevertheless, I like to start off saying special condolence and acknowledgement to a beautiful sister by the name of Aisha that has transitioned on. We know her by the name of, she went by the name Omega Million, a dear beloved sister that I started my practice in. She was next to me in my practice as a yoga instructor, a young living distributor. She has transitioned on, and I just wanted to make sure, and to other colleagues that have worked with the that we carried up to our sisters up in a office. We called it um, the Harry Tubman getaway. We want to come up there, we hit it all for you to fix up an eye for us. It's a naturopath. And so that has been some years ago, you all. And so it is great sadness, but some joy because she was ready to transition. She had fought a good fight, a good battle. Very, very, very supportive. Very, very, very supportive. I'm going to miss seeing her tune in because it's nothing like getting good support when people know your spirit and know where you started and where you come from. And so I just want to say, hey there, Sister Jamaica. It's so good to see you. I apologize for not being able to contact you right then and there. This has been a roller coaster again, but it's all right. You know how it goes when they try to distract so much come at you all at once. And I pray you and the boys are doing well. But I wanted to give that condolence to Omega Million that is transitional, beautiful sister. Thank her so much for all that she done with helping me, teaching you about certain yoga positions to breathe good, dress myself because I was going through a transition at that time, but nevertheless, I was able to still at that time. It's very positive, very supportive of her and her family. And I want you all to keep her and her family in prayer. Her original name was Aisha Methods. Please keep her and her family in prayers and her daughter. Okay, all right, y'all. I had to transition for those who are coaching every week products and which ones are not good. Your families can ask questions during these times. Keep in mind, you get over 4 coaching sessions that range anywhere from a half an hour to an hour every week for your 30-day coaching, for only ranging anywhere between 200 your healing journey that you are on. But you can't beat that because you should charge them much just for one coaching session for an hour. Okay, and there are none that are licensed or certified or have degrees that I know of that's doing it this way. It's not, if it is, it's very, very few. And you got those who would tell the fib and say that there are none of us that have a title of doctor or a wellness coach that's not charging an arm and a leg, which is still worth it because we know some of us spend far more on things that's not important, that's not going to be conducive to our health and wellness. However, I through the leading of my spirit and my heart, due to the signs of the times that we live in, want as many people as possible to be able to get together. And I do accept split payments for that. All the proceeds, once again, go right back into a line of products, you all. My powerful B12, my powerful colloidal silver, which is on back order right now because I don't charge a lot. Okay, and my elderberry, and also my colon cleanse. I'm a 30-day supply of colon cleanse, which I don't have right here before me, but you all have seen it before.
Yeah, thank you so
And
much.
my powerful, supernatural, all natural, organic, already tested for radiation, sea moss, you all. That's also a 30-day supply that you can just mix into everything under the sun. That's your 102 minerals that the body needs. And the colon cleanse is said to be able to help cleanse your gut from all forms of different diseases and help to lose excess amount of waste that's not that your body does not need, that's carrying toxins and parasites. So for those who all that want to lose gut weight, that is one of the many ways that you can detoxify your body at a time like this, because as you know, when you fast and detox, that helps the body to heal a lot faster. Not only that, it helps your spirit and help de-stress you from all the things that's going on in this world. I said it helps. It doesn't take away everything, but it helps tremendously when it comes down to you trying to be healthy and well to deal with all of the cares of life that you may be having in your life today. So on this Motivational Monday, I'm here to motivate you all to still not to give up, no matter all the craziness that we see going on today. Yes, I'm hearing about all the different lies that's been told in this political realm, but I'm a firm believer that yes, God has the final say. He knows that history has to repeat itself. He knows the different times and seasons that we are living in. And all we can do at this point, you all, truly, that will make a difference is to one, make sure you're right with God the best you can. Make sure you love and do right by your family and those who God have assigned to you. Making sure also that you take as good as care as possible of the temple that He has given you, along with your family, for those who have family. And then prepare when you see a warning before destruction. That's all we can do. And that's a lot. So I'm also here to share also to those who all that want to take advantage of being a part of the investment for us to be able to get more things in stock, like Sister Jamaica that's tuned in. I'm so happy to see you, Sister Jamaica. I know I'm not as bubbly and cheery as I used to be because I was not expecting to hear that our beloved sister had transitioned on. However, you all know I made it through the passing of my mother, my daughter, one of my favorite aunts and cousins, and so many others during the time of COVID. And so all it did was just make me want to make sure that I kept pressing forward, regardless of all of the other negative things that had took place. As you tune in, as you know, that are indeed planning funerals right now of loved ones that they wasn't ready to lose. It's just, it boils down to that, you all. Nothing else matters. Yes, it's chopping. The internet is chopping. Thank you for so much for letting me know. It's lagging. Okay. Okay, my internet's lagging. I got maybe one other place that I could possibly lose. And that's another thing, you all. Even for this, can you hear me, Sister Jamaica? At least, can you hear me? I got maybe one other place that I can move to. Um, let me see. Yeah, I got one other spot. I'm trying to see. Let me know if it keeps lagging. Yes, loud and clear. Okay, that's what's good. Okay, that's good. And that's another thing, you all. Even with this is my way that I connect to you all. This is the way the millions and billions of people are connected today. Can you imagine when the grid shut down? You have to have a peace within you when you can't come before the people. And that's another reason why we have to take care of our mind, our bodies, our souls. The reason why we got to stay inspired and motivated, no matter how time change, things change, man-made things that are set up to try to brainwash us and to thinking that all hope is gone if one thing goes wrong, which who knows? Maybe it's going right, but you just don't know it yet because you don't know what the end is going to be. You don't know what it saved you from. I know I used to think that sometimes. I like the things going smooth. And then finally, I seen where the power of God just to come into my life and shift some things, because some of the times I forgot some of the prayers that I prayed. And some of you all probably did too, but it wasn't until the end of that test that I was able to see the hand of God in it and be like, wow, what the devil meant for evil, God worked it out for my good. And I'm still seeing that every day. Still seeing that every day. Um, so, hey there, Brother Brian. It's good to see you. Very sorry for your loss. Yes, yes, yes. And so I'm just thankful. And I'm not gonna lie, you all, this health and wellness thing, and keeping ourselves motivated, it is a test for us as well. However, um, when you really think about it, it's clear that God placed some of us here on this earth in certain positions that just won't always be fun. It's not going to always be. And everybody knows me, my children, all of them that know me, they know I am. I mean, I just always been, for the most part, bubbly, but very sincere, doing my best to pay attention to a lot of things that was going on around me and with God's people. And so, I always just asked him to give me the balance. So I encourage you all today to ask God to give me the balance so that it's not so unbalanced to the point to where it causes you to overly stress about the things that we cannot change. Right? And so that's what I wanted to focus on today. And yes, I do see what's glitching. At first, it had 11 folks tuning in and going, but it's okay. I can't worry about the numbers. I got to do like you did with David. Connect, comment. Thank you for okay. So I got to do. Yeah, it's gonna be a whole lot of school sisters that is responding because of Omega million being transitioning today. I'm so thankful because I still need to come across a good read. Yes, you all are going to pick it back up. I left off for those who all that have open minds to receive knowledge, no matter what. That's not bias, but that just knows that God just sends us information and reminders a lot of times, especially for the chosen few, to keep us encouraged. And He uses different ones to do this thing. And so I'm going to dive right in because I'm going past the time that I really wanted to start in today. And so I'm going to start in here. And of course, we are in. Y'all gonna like this one because it doesn't have. It's it's a brain rejuvenator that teaches you about our mind, the mathematics of the mind. You all. Yep. I'm gonna keep going until it's something that I'm not supposed to. No, I did not read this chapter before, so we reading it together. Remember, you all can get this at NuriMuhammad.com. I advise you all to add this to your book collection for those of you all who like to read and like to do something that enhances the mind and the spirit and that encourages you to be able to be the best you could be in 2024. All right, now. I'm starting on page 26, and I believe I'm going to try to make it through down to 27. And I'm going to try to read straight on through you all, just in case the internet glitches. So this would be the reason why. And if you all still have any questions, I'm going to leave it open for that too, because I didn't like that we cut off on Wellness Wednesday because of the internet issue in my office. Okay, so yeah, we're going to press on through this. Yes, this is all about being motivated. We can't just talk about it. We got to be about it. Right? All right. Okay, on page 28 of the Mathematics of the Mind by Nuri Muhammad. It is called Thoughts, Electrochemical Energy. Oh yeah, it's going to get interesting, y'all. It says, we have heard a lot about developing technology referred to as artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is defined as a replica of the original intelligence or human mind. The computer is a copy of the brain and the rule of occupational expectancy of any device is called GIGO. GIGO, spelled GIGO, is an acronym which stands for garbage in. Look at that. I didn't know that, you all. I'm not ashamed to say it. Which stands for garbage in, garbage out. How do you know garbage in, garbage out? That's a question that is asked. Remember, our life is our mind turned inside out. Remember, you cannot get out of a thing what is not already in its in its very nature. The dictionary defines the word garbage as a contemplatively worthless vowel, with one of the definitions being inferior. In the previous chapter, we examined the source of the highest level of energy, finding that it comes from conversation. So, supreme wisdom produce supreme action, and supreme action produce a supreme life. Inferior, which is under the category of garbage, wow, will produce inferior actions and then an inferior life. Whatever we want on the outside, we must put on in the inside. Hey, so you want to be healthy. Y'all already know. I said I'm going to keep reading. Did you know that a computer uses electricity and so does the brain? Electrical waves travel through the computer, and electricity travels at a high speed through the nervous system of the brain and the body. I had to learn this the hard way, you all. That's the first chapter. You all get that? The electricity and how powerful that is. I learned that in the most hardest way, where I probably could have made myself my own neurologist. When I had my daughter, and she was diagnosed with having a very severe, rare case of epilepsy, where her brain would take a surge of energy. There were certain things that triggered, and I had to learn those triggers on my own until I came across a book that Mr. Friedman, a black man, had wrote on the power of the brain. And through it, I learned that scientists today don't even know half of the functioning of our brain, let's alone the electricity. Now, what they do know, and what I've learned within the past, 20 years, almost 22 years of actually, well, now Najee would have been 26, so yeah, it's a little bit over 20 years of study in the brain, paying attention to her, to the point to where psychologists, neurologists, I got into a place where I've gone to the hospital for her annual just to see what they would say, just to see if they would have something to do, because I didn't have any of the knowledge that I had now. I had to study, you all, just like you all have to. We have to read up on some things on those who have come before us that has already done the homework. And so when your time comes to where you have to apply things like finding out what makes your brain tick, like finding out what's going on with your daughter or with your son, maybe your niece or nephew, or just a friend that needs this information, you're able to be some kind of help. That is, if they will receive, because some of us don't want to have knowledge, because we know once you get the knowledge, now you are required to actually utilize the knowledge, and then with that comes responsibilities. And I know so many that don't want the responsibility because it's work. And today we seem to have a very lazy mindset. But I'm here to encourage you all on this Motivational Monday this evening. So don't have a lazy mindset. Allow the power and the electricity in your mind to boot you, to rejuvenate you into doing exactly what you were called and chosen to do on this day, despite of all of the distractions and the chaos and the craziness that we see going on in this world today. And I know it's challenging, but I too have to do the same. So as I read, I'm reading for myself, as they say. It's true. I'm reading for myself too, you all. And so I pray that this helps some of you all. But back to my daughter, I had to learn her triggers. Sometimes it would be bright sunlight, and her whole body would just plunk down like a robot, just dying down. It could be that she's constipated because she was eating a piece of bread because she loved bread like her father, and she just loved the softness of it. And so I had to learn how not to give her certain breads because there were certain things she just didn't like to eat. I had to learn that the more she chewed sometimes, it stimulated her brain so much because after all, she was my firstborn. And having a mother and a father that were critical thinkers and that also read and also was very articulate about things, smart in our own right, in the gifts that God had given us, all that had been placed into our firstborn daughter. And so our baby Nigel Angeles came out like a baby genius. She was already talking at 4 months, and I had plenty of witnesses. She was already saying names. She was already saying ABC, 1, 2, 3. She was already saying all these things before she hit 6 months. So yes, I figured that I had a genius on my hand that God had blessed me with. So you can imagine once the evidence of seizures started to take place, and those things started to decline before she had 8 months. And I'm taking parts because all I knew was to treat her like my clients for the time that I had been in nursing and rehabilitation. That's my firstborn. I had to learn how to use my brain to go ahead and jot her down so I can keep tabs because I already had one in the oven on the way, and that was my son Kevin. And so I realized that through watching her, that I was able to learn more about the brain, and slowly but surely, it took away her speech, and she began not to speak. Slowly but surely, it took away her having a desire to eat certain foods. And before I know it, I found myself in a situation where I needed to know how to bring in my to study that child beyond what everyone else was saying. Finally, I got a breakthrough to the point to where every year I would take her to get her checkup. Then not only would they bring in one doctor, but they would bring in all of the residential doctors in on me. I would have 12 to 15 doctors in watching me while I explained to them what's going on with my daughter and why the chemicals and drugs that they got that actually come with the same side effects as her seizures was not going to do. I became Johnny Cochran, little niece overnight, y'all. And that's not me tooting my own horn, but just trying to explain to you that even I didn't know what was in my mind until that triggered to me seeing the energy surging through my own daughter's head, causing her body to do things that it wasn't supposed to do. So this is the reason why you all the mathematics of the mind. One of the many reasons why it's important that we learn ourselves, because unfortunately, one person can only know so much. But it's important that we learn ourselves so we can help ourselves. And once you learn how to help yourself, then you can help others a whole lot more. So that's all I wanted to share concerning that. Okay? I'm going to read the second paragraph. The second paragraph is a computer operates using electricity, yet it can catch a virus. For a computer to catch a virus, generally searches were being conducted on site that left the computer vulnerable to attack. When a computer catches a virus, the screen freezes, it slows down, it stops working properly, just what I just experienced, y'all. The brain operates using electricity also. The question is, what can give the brain a virus? Downloading information. I knew my daughter was smart, y'all. She paid attention to everything. So I knew there was an oversurge, even though they hadn't told me yet. And now this book confirms it even more so. And some of you all, I'd like to inspire you. For those of y'all that are brainiacs, get the electrified body. Then you know exactly what the brother is talking about in here. Okay, it's a big thick one though. Oh my God, it's powerful. The question is, what can I give the brain? What can give the brain a virus? Downloading information or images that are not in alignment with the true nature of the brain cells, which is created to think right, morally correct, true, good, factual. Did you know that you cannot make a statement when asked, how do you know it's true? You cannot say, because I got it. I got off the internet. There is no moral police force checking facts on the internet, y'all. Sound like something I've been saying, y'all. A whole lot of stuff going on out here. A lot of people don't want to have to admit that they're wrong, 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 wrong. It just, this is a platform where people can say whatever they want to say. And you all have to be able to discern, ask God for vision and the spirit of discernment to know what to believe and what not to know what is applied, what you can apply to yourself and what not to. And that can take a little time. It is not the knowledge superhighway. It is the information superhighway. Information could be wrong. Just said that and I didn't even know that was there. What makes the brain different from a computer is that the brain also uses chemicals to transmit information. I'm on page 27, you all, of the mathematics of the mind. And this is where the food we eat comes in. The digestive system is designed to take solids and turn them into liquids. The goal of digestion is to take what we consume, break it down to its chemical form, and then distribute those chemical nutrients all over the body and give the body what it needs to function at an optimal state. This means the food we eat, once it is transformed to the chemical state, travels through the blood every 8 minutes and 20 seconds. It can make one complete circulation throughout the body. Now, see, I took a course for saying that it takes 72 hours, and so I can only tell you what I was taught in my classes, right? But this brother is saying, and I think they may have some more accurate sciences, so I'm gonna fess that up right now because the truth will set you free. I believe that the information that he has is more accurate. I can say that today as a naturopathic doctor because I have experienced it and felt it within my own body through the process of elimination when I eat. And some tell me it's going to take 24 hours for you to be able to say, it don't take my body 24 hours to release my meals properly because I'm eating high fiber fruits and vegetation. It does not take me to the next day to release unless I've eaten something that blocks me and that causes a form of, because it's different, 8 different stages that I know of constipation where it slow down the digestive system, you all. And based off how much activities you're doing throughout the day, your line of work, meaning how much energy you use, it will determine how fast your metabolism will work to break that food down in order to help produce a proper elimination. So that can vary. They can vary just like it breaking down to 8 minutes to 20 seconds so that you can get a complete circulation. The same with the gut, you all. The same with the intestines. Some range from 16 to 24 hours. Some can range, I believe, from anywhere from 4 to 8 hours. Now, that's just my belief in what I have experienced, okay? And I don't profit anything by lying about that. From the sole of the foot to the crown of the head, through the brain, and back down. What happens when we are eating bad food? Thoughts are electrochemical energy, fast moving fluids. When we eat bad foods and it breaks down to the chemical state, the chemicals of the food mix with the nature of our thoughts. Did y'all hear that? I'm working on a book concerning the chemicals of our thoughts and how it relates to our hormonal imbalancement, you all. Also, how it relates to your sex drive, just for the record. It's going to be deep. So sometimes when you want to be real detailed and make sure that you're getting things more accurate than not, it takes a little time. Be patient. After all, in it possess ye our souls. We can then catch a virus from bad websites. Mm. But we can also catch a virus from a bad lunch or a bad dinner. See, I've noticed that when you could click on things out of curiosity or because it got clickbait, where you think that it's one thing, and I've done it a few times, but not a lot, where you trying to think of a title and the title just so happens to be catchy and it draws the person in. And I actually watched someone do that for the past couple of years a lot. And I'm like, is that not? And they call it clickbait because that make a person bait you in and you click on it based off of the title. And so I was thinking about that. So it can be a good one or a bad one. It seemed like most people clicked on the bad ones. That there seemed to be more negative than they did that was positive is what I noticed. And so I'm like, that is something that so many more people, as much as a difference of 1,000 people versus few hundred people versus down to sometimes 50 or 60 people, that based off of what you put on the clickbait is will determine how many people like or review you on this thing. So the same with our bodies. When you put bad food in your body, the virus will be your parasites, the bad ones, the ones that come to take the nutrients out of your body before it can go into your cells to help provide the body the proper nutrients and help boost your immune system to help fight off sicknesses and disease. So depending on how much bad food you place in your body, meaning how many times you watch a commercial that clickbaited you with the lust of the eye, and then that taste buddy, you get in the water because it looks good because all of the different colors that triggered the thought within your mind, it got your brain waves going now. It's got it going. And those are part of what some have called, when you look through, the 12 components of food addiction, you all. Yeah, that's real. But I believe it's far more than 12. And I'm telling you why in one of these segments. Just keep staying tuned, me, y'all. I'm going to tell you why it's more. Okay, foods, thoughts are electronically, chemically fast-moving fluids. When we eat bad foods, it breaks down to the chemical state. The chemicals of the food mix with the nature of our thoughts. We can catch a virus from bad websites, but we can also catch a virus from bad lunch and bad dinner. A computer memory grows by adding computer chips. Look at that name, chips. The memory of the brain grows stronger by synaptic connections. What makes synaptic connections? There are three things the brain needs for it to grow: fuel, oxygen, and stimulation. What do we know, you all, today that most of us like, that's very stimulating and that gives us energy and that makes you go, I don't know about for y'all, but for me, it's an action packed movie, martial arts, um, a real good thriller when the bad guy catches the good guy catches the bad guy. Justice is served. Uh, Comedy, laugh so hard, get you to breathing, stimulates your mind, wondering. But say I don't just like no any kind of comedy. I like intelligent minded comedies, the kind that tell the truth and make it sound funny at the same time. Well, you get the picture. The fuel is knowledge. The fuel is good food. Oxygen is clean air. I get that when I read good scriptures and very powerful, motivating, confirmation things, good affirmations, rather. I like that too. Let me know when you find some clean air. Ooh, please let me know, y'all, when y'all find some clean air. And stimulation. And stimulation from the brain comes in four basic ways, y'all. The ways is mental exercise, crossword puzzles, you all, practicing on memory, thumbing through pictures, studying, reading good books, good spiritual, good natural books. We generally knew that because a cornerstone of all levels of education is playing memory games. So I tell you, memorizing things, testing ourselves to see what we can remember. I know I got some right now I need to remember that will determine whether or not I enroll in something right now. I'm not going to tell y'all what it is right now because I don't want no distractions, not from y'all in particular, but you put things out. I'm one that believes in the power lies in life and death lies in the tongue. So it's something right now that I'm supposed to be trying to remember. Every time I try to remember or go over to study it, I wind up getting a whole lot of phone calls. It's like everybody knows that I'm about to sit down and study to memorize. Just 10 things, just 10 questions. Okay? 10 questions and answers. Just 10. Study and quizzes. The activity is mental exercise. Reading is also a mental exercise. I just said that. Reading, there we go. We're stimulating the brain. It's the reason why I encourage you all to get to reading. Yeah. Because what happens when the computer shut down, you all? You're going to wish you had some books then. The Bible was great, but you're going to wish you had more. Because I'm sure if it gets to a place to where it shuts down for weeks and months at a time, and you can't use that phone or the internet don't boot up so you can watch TV or anything. And a lot of us don't even have cassette tapes anymore, videotapes, CDs, a lot of that's gone now. And so what do in order to stimulate the mind and get good oxygen? What do to get that good frequency? What do? You ain't gonna pray all day. Even the Muslims only pray 5 to 7 times throughout the day. But you got 24 hours in a day. And that doesn't last for hours on top of hours. So just think about it, you all. Let's prepare, is what I'm saying. I'm on page 28. What many do not know is that physical exercise strengthens the brain. The science of this can be read more deeply in a book entitled Spark. SPARK. In the book, the reader is introduced to multiple studies where people who suffer from clinical depression, anxiety, stress, and numerous other forms of mental and physical alignments were prescribed not a drug, but an exercise regimen. I believe in them more. By following the exercise regimen, they were able to defeat these impediments by exercise alone. I did that with my daughter too. They would say that she wouldn't know the difference between day and night. That's what the doctor told me about her when she was about 5. Hadn't looked over charts or nothing from previous neurologists or anything. Just said, looked in her eyes and said, oh, she won't know the difference between day or night. And he used the computer as an example. I looked at him and I said, that's not true. And I thought to myself in my mind, because I didn't want to, cause more friction. I thought I said, the devil is a lie. This child knows when to go down when it's nighttime. She knows when to rise up when it's early in the morning. Now she went out late, but nevertheless, so would her mother. So would I. And so she knew the difference. She surely wouldn't try to make it a habit of leaving at nighttime. Maybe once or twice. So it sounds like somebody that know the difference between day and night. I could count on one hand when she went out, and that was only because she saw us go out. Okay. So you can't believe everything that people tell you either. You have to know your own mind. You have to know for yourself. You have to know your children for yourself, you all. You got to know even your parents or grandparents that may have dementia and Alzheimer's. You have to pay attention to what they are paying attention to. All right? All right, sit back. The stimulation of the brain comes from work. Work is not just the motion of doing something. Work is force, x distance, which are doing something activity. But we have a goal to get from where we are to where we want to be. The mental satisfaction that comes from moving an object from where it is to where you want it to feed the brain. Last paragraph. Many people love being victims and playing roles of victims. I was just thinking about this today, y'all, when I was here. I lie not. I didn't know this was in here. And I was thinking about how a lot more when they could play the victim, like, woe is me. Oh, it's hard. Oh, well. They know it's more people pat them on the back. They know it's more people give them this, and it's not just begging for people for money and for attention. It's not just asking people to support me. It goes beyond that. Strength is when you can mentally process without having somebody always clapping their hands, without having somebody always calling your name, without having to always have somebody to motivate you. That's strength. Every motivator, think about it. And there is some that like to downplay motivators, but all it means is to give people the energy or to encourage somebody to move. and in a positive way. And so, how can you downplay that? The Word of God does that. Good affirmations does that. You can call that motivation. And so, once again, the wordplay, don't get caught up in it, you all. Just know that anything that's good, that is the perfect will of God for us. We need that, especially in a time like this. Okay? And so it says many people love being victims and playing the role of victim. One of the worst states to find ourselves is in when we enjoy the comfort we receive from people when we are suffering. Y'all realize I could have stayed in I could have stayed in, well, it's me, my baby gone. And I would have had the right to. It's when I wanted to. My mama gone. Y'all see me cry too. But I had to keep going. Because I know what my mother placed in me. I know the God that placed that in me. I'm not saying that I didn't ever feel like I wanted to just like, oh my God. But I had a mate at that time that didn't like basically seem like get over it. Because they've been trained to, I guess, get over it. And no, they didn't first say it, but the action said it. The action said, I'm a comfort you a little bit, but my training and my mentality says, look, don't let this interfere with what the money I gotta make. Don't let this interfere with the spiritual work I want to do, because I ain't got time for you to cry. I ain't got time for you to feel hurt. I ain't got time for you to feel victimized. I could have did that when I looked at my bank account and saw that my bank account was wiped out. My joint account's just wiped out. A whole 6-7 months of actually technically a whole year of income gone. Just gone without no warnings, none whatsoever. Yeah, I could have did that with my phone when my phone number got gone. Took my phone number for years. Just gone. Just out of spite. Just gone. All contacts gone. So yeah, though somebody would know about trying to be a victim, I qualify. I really do. I qualify. And there's things that I can't even say on this airway that will blow your mind. I can tell you this much. Even my own counselors told me, look, girl, you got you a Tyler Perry production show. You got you a Hallmark movie. Because some of this stuff is unbelievable, but we know you're not lying because we can see it. Yeah. And some of you have it too. But everything in this due season and this due time. I'm patient. So, once again, then the victim. One of the worst states to find ourselves in is when we enjoy comfort we receive from people we are suffering more than we enjoy the mental satisfaction that comes from accomplishing things we want to do. The minute we get more mental satisfaction out of people hugging us and crying with us, consoling us all the time, next thing we know, our brain begins to say, we feel good. Food make you do that too. The artificial junk food do too. This feeling is addictive. And the only time we then feel good is when someone comes and consoles us. But we only get this comfort, this type of ease, when something is wrong. So always make it seem like something is wrong outside of the computer glitching. Always. Now, granted, depending on the field you work in, it may be a lot that's going on that we consider wrong. But every time, every day, of course, you work in the health field, there's going to be somebody around you dying and somebody extremely sick. So you can always expect to have a healthcare provider. If you ask them, how was your day? They can probably always tell you in most days that, oh, well, Mrs. Johnson passed. Mrs. Jones is gone. Oh, well, um, this one lost their foot. This one just had a heart attack. So that's a given. But every time you look up, it's woe is me. Every time it's hard. I can't make it. If I'm talking to somebody, stay online. I may motivate you not to get rid of that spirit. We can rebuke that one right now. We don't claim depression. We don't claim anxiety. We got herbs for that now. And we don't even want you addicted to herbs because that's another form of comfort. But we also definitely don't want you getting hooked on any type of antidepressant drugs, because that's going to come with suicidal tendencies and thoughts and more depression in the short run, not the long run. Numb you to the point of where now you acting like you don't know whether you're coming or you're going. You don't want that. I know I don't want that for you. Let me see. The minute we get more mental satisfaction out of people hugging us and crying with us and consoling us all the time, next thing we know, our brain begins to say we feel good. This feeling is addictive. And the only time we then feel good is when someone comes and consoles us. My grandson, prime example, my grandson's little sister. She's just one. She's gonna be one this upcoming month. I notice every time I step through the door to come and visit them, I watch them maybe like twice off the week, right? And every time I come and go, she happy one minute, then cause she figured she figured Nana finna pick her up. Wasn't nothing wrong with her. I done peeked through the little slide door and everything just to see what you up to. She just trying to walk and do everything else. But the moment she see me, then all of a sudden when she see me coming there and get busy, she ain't nothing wrong with her at all. Not a thing. So I just let her. I learned how to let her. I looked at her, I said, oh, baby girl, I done raised 3 girls like you. I said, no, we're not going to do that today. And I continue to do what I got to do. Fix her bottle, get her everything she needs. And before you know it, she just a smiling. She looking at me. Now she want to play peekaboo. Because she could get me to fall for the fake cry. And see, that's how some of us are. I think some of us must have never grew out of our babies on, huh? Didn't get enough attention, didn't get enough help holding. I know a young man that was like that, and I'm not going to tell what the position it was in my life, but they were very close. Every time they came home, they had to have a big hug, like a child that will hug their mother. And I started wondering after about 10 years have passed, why do they hug like this? This is not how a husband hugs a wife. And then finally it came out. My mama didn't hug me. She didn't hold me a lot. Now, in those type of cases, yes, that is an emotional neglect. And what happens is that if it's never dealt with, if you're never taught that you need to share this with a person before you marry, you need to share this with someone so that they know that you understand that this is an imbalancement. By the time you hit past 20 or 30, that you have to be hugged like you're a 2 or 3-year-old or like you're a baby. Not like a grown man or a woman, but like a baby. That lets you know that it's a mental dysfunction. It's something unstable going on there. Emotional trauma and anxiety and stress came with all of that. And I had to deal with it. I did. But what I wasn't going to deal with was if you couldn't get it while I got 10 other jobs to do, I wasn't going to deal with no neglect and no abuse on my end either. You got so many times to try that one. And then at some point, somebody got to have some mental sense, some form of maturity in themselves to know when you're unbalanced and when it's time to grow up, when it's time to part. I know for a fact from experience that being married, when the vow said that to death do part, it didn't mean until we caused each other's death. Y'all, we got to watch sometimes what we say. Yeah, we do. Matter of fact, we got to watch it all the time. Because I don't think that we really realize how much we're speaking death over our lives and how much we are actually receiving the negative things that come to destroy you in the short run. In the short run. All right. It says the minute we get more mental satisfaction out of people hugging us and crying with us, consoling us all the time, the next thing we know, our brain begins to say, we feel good. It's a stimulant, y'all. This feeling is addictive, and the only time we then feel good is when someone comes to console us. But we only get this comfort, this type of ease, when something goes wrong. So subconsciously, we create situations where we have something wrong to place us in a position to receive the comfort that comes with this. Even if nothing is wrong, we will make something wrong. Ooh, y'all, I wasn't expecting this. A victim gets mental satisfaction from the sympathy of others. A victor gets mental satisfaction from achievement. Okay? Did y'all hear that? I'm gonna say that again. Woo. Even if nothing is wrong, we will make something wrong. This is when you're addicted to the attention that you get once you think, because that's what happens. You have to say something is wrong. A victim gets mental satisfaction from the sympathy of others. Oh, what they said that to you? Oh, they talked about you like that. Oh, they should have never did that. I'm not saying that it's unnatural to maybe get it. I'm sure the brother's not saying the book that it's unnatural to get it sometime. But every time you tune in, especially on here on social media, every time you feel like giving up, every time somebody doing you wrong, every time somebody ain't paying you no attention, every time somebody not giving you enough. How many times do you all think that I don't get enough tuning in here? I only come on usually two, maybe three on a good week out of here in 2 hours. I say give or take 4 to 6 hours. But you got those who was tuning in with this because this is their way of living. This is how they market. This is how they make their income. Preachers, teachers, coaches, and all. And so they've learned the method of this right here that this young man talks about. I'm telling you right now, I cannot do it, you all. I have enough real things that's happened in my life with the passing of loved ones. That's enough for me. I don't want to come on and say every time when something negative would happen. I'm not going to call out every time when somebody says something negative on the chat. Thank God I don't really have that, that as an issue, because I don't practice saying a lot of negative things over my timeline on my platform. But there are those who knows that because there are so many that tune in that like arguments, they like riffraff, they like gossip, they like talking about the stars, they like doing, and they get so many likes, and they get some donations. They get a sale. To now they don't even realize that they are like this, a victim that gets mental satisfaction from the sympathy of others. And then they get mad and lash out some. Not many, but some. Like you playing on, like you're playing sports or something. Y'all, this is a sign of a mental disorder. This has nothing to do with I'm angry because of what the politicians are doing. It has nothing to do with let me say part. Let me digress. Part. Look, it was more so I want attention. Now, of course, if you're teaching something, you should get some. But anytime it's a sliver of everybody's sport, everything is wrong. Oh, woe with me every time. This is hard every time. I know y'all don't like me. I'm not gonna call their names, but I know someone that tune in, and this is a woman, a quote unquote black woman, and she teaches on the blood types and the type of foods that you should get. And the attitude is so nasty. Some of you all that tune in now later may even seen her and maybe know of her. I mean, I honestly cannot even think of a name right now because that's just how negative she is. And she's cussing F you and let get off and all that. I'm like, no, you're on the World Wide Web. It's open to everybody. The people pay for their internet. You can't pull anybody off. No, you get off. Oh yeah, that's my mentality. No, you get off. You're on there because you want some money. You're on here because you want to share something, which is good information, but delivery is so nasty. The delivery is, and what I found out is that the algorithm goes up. More people tune in to see the negative disposition more so than they do when she's gone. So she's gonna keep doing it because it makes her money to do it, not realizing that this is a high sign of someone playing the victim, or like somebody's always doing something. I watched it a few times, so I couldn't take it no more. Where they can ask a simple question. I told you that already. You're not listening. Go down the chat and watch. I'm like, oh my God, that is such a nasty spirit to have. And yes, I had to personally deal with that before already. So I wasn't. I said that's so low vibration. And it is a sign of evilness. It is a sign of narcissism. And they'd be the first ones to say that they're not narcissistic. First ones to say that they're not playing the victim, but that they're strong and they're victorious. No. Y'all be not deceived. God is not mocked. Whatsoever man soweth, that shall he also reap. So if you're always sowing a bad seed constantly over and over again, it don't matter how much good you're doing. But you got a balance of a lot of negativity mixed with some good. You gonna reap all that back. I'll never forget. I heard a self-made minister tell me that they claim to believe in the Bible, then turned around and told me. And I said, well, do you believe that you reap what you sow? You know what they said? They said no. I said, well, no wonder why you don't have a conscience of how you talk to people when you want what you want and when they have honest questions that you don't like. No wonder. Now, I knew it was arrogancy, and they admitted they were arrogant. That's just how narcissistic they was, where they admitted that they were arrogant. They didn't care as long as they was making money off of the people. They didn't care. Their mentality was, these fools need to pay me anyway. I'm putting all this out here for them. That's what their mentality is, and it still is to this day. And when they want more, they know how to play the victim. So this is hard, and I'm like, but it works because there's so many of us. Let me talk to the women today, just the women mostly, and there are some sentimental men too, but mostly women. This is the reason why our churches are overfilled with so many of us catering to the very so-called leaders that we say are false prophets or false teachers or sleeping with everybody under the sun, and we turn around and get mad. But it's us that support those type of things because we like how good they preach. We like how nice the suit is. My God, if they're nice looking. But now some you can't, no discerning of spirit, you stuck. That year after year after year after year after year, no matter how broke you're going, trying to give to making sure that they give everything they want for themselves, their families that you don't know about, and to other mission, foreign mission things as a cover up for you to take care of them 90% of the way. 90%. Trust and believe that. Because if you ain't seen taxes, then you don't know. As we just read in this passage, no, we can say whatever you want to over these airwaves, and you can't say that it's 100% factual, and you can't go all the time even by paperwork. I had to learn that the hard way because there's so many people that's good with printing whatever they want to print out. That's a lie too, just to make you think that it's true. Oh yeah. No, whatever high level we want to get in life, whatever how much we want to accomplish in life, that's how much you're going to know that somebody is going to be begging. Somebody's going to be draining from you. And they know the best way to do that is to use something that's sentimental. We're going to feed the poor. And the poor don't even look like they're poor. Clothes on nice, hair done and everything. Yeah, we know what poor is. We know what a homeless person look like. But some of us are so clever on these waves and so loud and so intimidating. There are people into doing, and it's okay with them until their day comes, until their judgment comes. So I don't afraid to get so much angry about it. I just shake my head and I pray. I say, Father, help those who don't see. I was one blind, but now I see. Now I wasn't my judge. The killer, the pot, calling the killer the pot. You can't get the beam out of your eye before you get it out of someone else's eye. You can't go and talk about I'm going to save all the whores and I'm going to take up all the prostitutes, but yeah, you got a lust demon and you wrestle with pornography. I mean, just literally days in. No, but that's the times we live in, y'all. You can't say that I'm going to save the children, and here you are, you got a molestation spirit on you. But because the people don't know just yet, or maybe they don't care because they're in such a destitute state that they'll sell their children, just like how we hear that they're doing now. You know, I'm certified sex trafficking person. I have to identify these things. But my God, you can't be real close up on me and not pick up that. I have to depart or report. I have to depart and did you hear me? I have to depart and report. And ain't no shame in my game about it. So I watch. I'm sitting back and I'm watching. And when it's time to report, I'll report. See how that works? But see, I can do that because I'm not part of a sex trade trafficking team. See how they go? Y'all, we gotta get our minds right. This is the reason why it's so important for us to know our minds, to know how the emotion and how the food affects your mind and give you all these toxic thoughts. These people are saying seances over their foods, doing all different type of things. You all have seen it since you've been over there. Some of you all that tune in now later, you've seen it announced that I put love, the number one ingredients in my love, even when I had my cookbook for Thanksgiving. The number one ingredients is love. I'm gonna know with my food. Oh, let me seize the minds of the people and let me make them love me. And no, I was praying, Lord, nourish this food so they can get constipated. Give them all the nutrients that they need for out of this food so that they can feel good and satisfied. The taste satisfy them. Don't allow nothing harmful to purify it. That's what I pray when Dr. Shell come out. That's the energy I put into my food. The reason why those who've been meat eaters all their life and eating toxic food all their life can have a veggie wrap and be like, is this meat in here? I'm like, no, it's all good, juicy vegetables. No, you lying. I'm like, if I'm lying, I'm dying. Yeah. Well, I'm thankful that I was able to come before you all today because it got challenging moving about and already thinking about how my wellness went down. It got a little challenging. And then getting the news of my beloved sister transitioning on. Yeah, it was tough. Like clean to the minute. But I'm not going to play victim about it. I'm just here to say, hey, this is part of being motivated, you all. If I can do it, so can you. Don't allow your adversary or any naysayers tell you that you can't make it through. No more so than those who try to say that, oh, you've been addicted to food all your life. You'll never change. Don't let nobody tell you that either. Don't let nobody make you think that it's okay to sell yourself short. Don't make nobody think that just because Satan has reigned over this earth and he has control over these things that he have, that means that you have to give in to it. That's a lie from the pit. And it's okay to still keep teaching the truth. No, we have to strive to be the walk of truth. It said, let your light so shine, so bright, that we be able to draw others, draw near to thee, not bribe them near to you. not pay them near to you, but to your light so shine, not your teaching abilities, not your preaching abilities, not your education, but your light, meaning the goodness in you. And that's what I see today. The minds of victimization, the minds of manipulation are so strong today, especially on these highways, that, and within money get into the play. I'm telling y'all, the Bible didn't lie. The scripture says that the money is the root to all evil. Yeah, it is. The love of it is the root to all evil. I love it. I don't care about us getting to the place where we give the charity and give the stuff. We all know. I ain't got to say nothing. We all know what we give our money mostly to. You give it to that you lust after the most. Yes, you do. It's very few that's a good steward over finances. I was blessed to have a mother that was good steward. Outside of buying junk food and eating, loving to eat, she was a good steward over finances. She taught me that quite well. So whether I'm making $40,000 or $80,000 a year, $100,000 a year, or whether I'm making under $20,000 a year, I'm able to maintain because God blessed me with a mother that taught me how to maintain. My father taught me the strength, what it takes to work, the strength in working. My mother taught me order. My father taught me you listen to the voice of God when I speak and do as I say. And you will most definitely become the great woman of God that I created you to be. It don't matter how many times you fall, y'all. What matters is how, well, I take that back and say 7 times. Good man falls 7 times. Get back up. Women, that applies to us too. You are one man. Yeah, we are. At some point, you can't say that you're going to have to get comfortable with dying, you all. Don't believe the suicidal mentalities. That I got to die doing this. I don't care if I'm dying doing this, if I'm this and I'm that. I'm in my worst state. I'm going to do. No, 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 no. I used to have to tell a person, stop saying that. You're going to have to stop saying that. That is a suicidal mentality. That I'm going to do this good, even if I'm sick. Even if I get it. That's their preacher talk. We grew up in church, you know, they sound real motivating. Oh, even if I'm limping. Why come it can't be even if you standing up straight? Even if I'm strong. Well, no, when I'm strong. When I learn this temple that God has given me. Why come it can't be that? Why not? It got all because we like to leave room for playing the victim. We like to leave room for people to have sympathy over us. Too many of us like that because it pays. It pays your attention, and in a lot of cases, it pays you money. So I'm here, y'all, to motivate us, y'all, to keep your eyes open, your ears attentive to that is the goodwill of God for you in your life. Keep your brain, pray over your mind. I know I do. I don't know about y'all, but I'm on school. I pray over my mind. Anytime something is coming to stress me out, I pray. I put my hand over my head. Yeah, old school, like the grandmamas did in church. Yeah, I put my hand on my Father. You know, you created this mind which is also in you. I pray over my mind. I pray over my heart when it hurts, when it's hurting for someone. When I'm longing for my mother, I pray over my heart. When I'm longing for my natural father, I pray over my heart. I breathe. I practice a breathing technique that Omega Million taught how to breathe. That's what gave her the longevity. She could have been gone long before this time. Her mother passed from a similar condition that she has when she was a child at a very early age. And so I took those golden nuggets that she taught. And that's all we should do, you all, is learn, take the good, dish out the bad. Take the good, do away with the bad. You don't want to live with your enemy at hand when you see them spewing out a lot of negativity, when you see them playing with the word of God, when you see them manipulating, you don't want to do that. What you want to do is take the good. My godfather, Bishop Alberly Petway, is a bishop to this day. He used to teach that. He said, you got to know how to, and a pastor of mine used to say, you got to know how to, you know how when we used to eat fish, some of us still do. But you see, and the bones of being there, particularly that buffalo fish. Any of you all that ate buffalo fish, they have a lot of thin little bones. So say you gotta know how to pick the meat out and leave the bones. Some people eat the bones, and before you know it, they get a little thin bone, a little sharp thing stuck in their throat. Ask God to help you all. I pray for you all on this Motivational Monday that you all, that He give you strength in the time of adversity, just like He gives me. But you gotta ask for it. You gotta ask for it. You ain't gotta cry for it all the time. You ain't gotta whine for it all the time. You ain't gotta bully nobody into it. You ain't gotta do that. Yeah, we could be a stiff-necked people, but everybody ain't stiff-necked. It's mostly the person who's saying it that's stiff-necked because they want God's glory. And we can't get God's glory. We're supposed to just be the children that follow through with the plan of God. That's it. They said you have no other God before Him. And I believe that. It's obvious. Every time man thinks that they're going to get beside themselves and do whatever they want to do to the earth, do whatever they want to do with the children, do whatever they want to do with their wives, do whatever they want to do with the creations that He's given us, do whatever they want to do with the trees. Here come a hurricane. Here come a tornado. Here come an earthquake. Mother Nature show you that she ain't playing with us. God is not playing with us, y'all. They used to sing a song in church, an old hymn, and I'm about to shut it down, y'all, for Motivational Monday. It used to say, get right, church, and let's go home. But you can't go home if you ain't getting right. It says that we would be in these perilous times where men would become lovers of their own selves. It'd be like husband and wives is not husband and wives. It will be where we would be practicing all forms of lasciviousness. That means all different types of sexual immorality and deeds. They said the time would come where we would act like we would not be moral, where the mothers against daughters, daughters against mothers, fathers against sons, sons against fathers. Even when they appear that they're honoring them, they're disrespecting them at the same time. I had that experience. I can use my own. I told you all on Motivational Monday it's going to be a good talk, but also I share my testimony. As of yesterday, I didn't know that I was supposed to be considered missing. So if I hadn't watched it, if I hadn't called my daughter in enough time, my youngest one, Naomi, if I hadn't called her in enough time, the FBI was going to be after me. It just so happened my charger thing was broke. Was I need another one, and I couldn't get it to charge. I thought it was charging because I heard it go zoop, and make that little noise zoop. And so, but I didn't check it again. So I set it to the side, and I dozed off because I was tired. And so as I'm taking my little nap, the phone is still not charging, so it's clearly going straight to voicemail, which is full. And she's panicking, and I didn't know it. Because this is her day to start her new job, right? At least that's what I thought. And so, since the environment wasn't going to be as clean as it needed to be, I said, I was going to call you to check on your respiratory system. I went ahead and done it. But for her, because she's never had experience really calling and getting no response, she went into a panic. Where's my mom? Yeah, I'm telling off on you, Naomi, if you're watching. And I thought I was going to get some support by my middle daughter, but I didn't get none from there either, because before I know it, it's like I was the child and they was the mother. Anybody know my girls is 20 or 24 now, and I'm like, wait a minute. Wait a minute, I'm the mother. This is normal. You got to get a You got to get an iPhone so we can track you. And where was you at now? And what was going on? What was going on? Well, you couldn't answer your phone. I'm like, wait a minute here, Lord, Lucia. And I said, now y'all see how I feel. When y'all want to text, when y'all feel like it. And I'm checking on y'all. Y'all got grown and all on it. Because y'all the home. And now y'all, somebody that's tuning in know what I'm talking about with the grown children. Or maybe you was once that grown child that got in your 20s and thought it's okay that you going to call your mama when you feel like it. But now all of a sudden you can't reach mama because you used to mama picking up the phone or daddy. Now you panicking. Where my mama? Where my mama? Where my mama? Where my daddy? Where my daddy? Where my daddy? But I'm just saying, times like that. So I told myself, I'm glad to know because y'all getting so self-sufficient at times. So I'm thinking that if I just flew out the country, y'all wouldn't phase y'all. Besides my grandson, my son's son, I said, y'all had me thinking for a minute because y'all can do y'all little thing and call me when y'all want to chitty chat. But that's a good thing, you all, because once again, we're living in a time. And I'm not saying there's never been friction, because there's been friction. You can only imagine, because I'm not that mama that says that I have to be my children's best friend. I tell them I'm your only friend. That's what I tell them. I'm your only friend that's going to ever want the best for you, even when you're not acting right. I never wish anything ungodly upon you. You will see that God placed within me. And I understand my assignment. Now, I can't say I've done it perfect, but I've sure been striving for it. And that's all we can ask for one another. You all, let's strive for perfecting ourselves and doing and being what God has created us to be. You all know I say this all the time. And I'm not going to stop saying it because that's what we need. Let's not get caught up in all of the affairs of everyone else. The old song, sweep around your own front door before you try to sweep around mine. We're only supposed to be encouraging one another. We're only supposed to be our brothers and our sisters' keeper. At least those who are called and appointed in your life. Not those who you bribe, not those who you trying to connive, not those you want to have covering up your sins. Because rest assured, like my elders say, your sins will surely find you out. All of us. While we focusing on those fallen stars. That is a distraction, you all. And I know a lot of you all have heard it already, but you're going to hear it again. You're going to hear it again from my Dr. Hill. You're going to hear it again. It's a distraction. These people are doing exactly what they've been doing because their God was not our God, the Father, that was here, that's placed us here to represent life and not death. And so it's each and every last one of us that's tuning in. It's our job to be the best and work on being the best that we can be so we can be ready for whatever you think your end going to be, whether it be by death, whether it be Jesus coming back to take you up, whether it be you waiting on a lot from the wheel, whatever it be, you're ready. All right? All right, for those of you all that would like consultation, call 618 or via text 618-388-8100. If at first you don't succeed and don't get through the first time, keep trying and keep doing it again. You will. Note that I love you all. Keep me and my family in your prayers, my children, Kenneth, Asia, niece, and the rest of my extended family, as I would do the same for you all as well. Stay encouraged, stay ready. Remember, you all get your bug out safety bags with your flashlights, your candles, and all that, because you never know when it's going to hit your area or if it's going to hit again. Be prepared. Warning has come, not for you to be fretful and for you to be fearful, but for you to be ready. Okay? I love you all. You all take care of yourself. Remember to be healthy more in 2024. Have a good Monday evening on purpose. Until I see you all next time on Wellness Wednesday. Bye. Well, tell me what determination will do. Woo, gotta be motivated. Gotta practice what we teach.